to Max's house.
Ready?
Yeah, man.
Right, cool. Just do a little clap into your microphone for me, please. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to the very first episode of Max's House, and I'm joined by none other than Tough Love. Big round of applause in the studio. Guys, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having us, bro.
This is a very, very, very special first show because some people don't know. I think I first met you, it would be 2012 or 2013.
Yeah, 2012. 2012.
I think 2012 because I did go to, I think it was a Twisted Disco.
Yeah. Would have been the Pony.
Yeah, Hoxton Pony.
At a Shoreditch venue.
Yeah, it should
promote any.
So guys, I mean, there's a lot of people that have done a lot of things in the scene and in the industry. And there's one thing is blowing up in London and playing at a lot of raves. And then there's another thing about going international and having smash hit records and also smashing the chart and working with an artist as huge as Ginuwine. And there's so much that you've done in your careers like together. But I kind of want to know a little bit more about your individual journeys that then kind of brought you together to create Tough Love. So Alex, go first, bro.
It's mad. We kind of have similar backgrounds, or we should have met along the journey a long time before. It's a mad one. So I come from like a super musical family. My mum's a choreographer, sister the same. My dad has always worked in music, so he ran a record label back when I was a young teenager, and also managed acts, and then floated the record label on a stock market and got out and kind of like called it a day, and that was him done with music. So when I started to get into it at a young age, it was more like the business side, to be honest. Working at the record label with him, I used to do all the video shoots, lugging all the lights around, setting everything up, sitting in the studio with his writers, like just learning how everything works, just absorbing as much as I could. And then I kind of sacked everything off. I went to university, and at the time I was playing like semi-pro rugby, and we actually went to the same uni, but we never met. It was mad. We never met. We never crossed paths. I was part of the rugby culture. He was part of the football culture. And I left uni and got in, started doing my own stuff. Started DJing out in London, and then I started a duo with a guy called Nee. And I was part of like the whole crew of like Buster Bennett and all that lot, like Larry and all those guys, like way back, doing all the sort of East London, Shoreditch venues. Then I took the job at McQueen as music booker. Yeah, of course. And that's when I finally met Stefan. Yeah. Long time ago.
And then his life changed forever.
What was that though? That was 09.
I'd say 2010 probably.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
And then we started getting in the studio 2011.
Yeah.
So nearly 10 years of Tough Love.
Next year, man. 10 years of Tough Love album. Look out.
Really?
Yeah.
Exclusive?
Yeah, man.
That would be amazing. Is that happening? Is that really happening?
No, we got to, man. 10 years
definitely.
A long time in the scene.
That would be incredible. But not like a 4 or 5 track album like the hip hop artists are doing now. Give us like a proper 12 to 15. I think is solid. Steph, I know we spoke quite recently because like your journey to me is very interesting because you've been a professional DJ for quite a while.
Too bloody long.
Before everyone was a DJ.
I started when I was 13.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm still young now. No, me and my older brother Blaze, we managed to get my dad on a Sunday after he'd been on a night out. He was drunk. We encouraged him to get us some turntables and a mixer, some absolute dodgy Belgian turntables, dead mixer. But he did. And because he was drunk, he kind of added extra speakers and bits on top as well. So fantastic. And then me and Blaze just got the bug. Just started DJing every single day. Within, I think, 6 months, we kind of picked up the technique of mixing. From then, that was it, mate. Just continued to DJ. Journeys took me so many different places, like through so many different genres of music. But initially, it did start on kind of house and garage. Eventually kind of moved into like pirate radio, moving over to South London, like Taste FM,
Okay.
Touch FM, Supreme FM, like Freeze and Mac FM and stuff like that. Just trying to do as much as possible to try and make a career out of it. And then
Big up the urban legends.
So basically met up with a group of lads, I'd say just before college or just at the start of college, formed the Urban Legends. Well, actually, there was two groups kind of came together. A group of lads called the Confusion Crew.
Okay.
And then off the back of that, it formed something called Urban Legends, which was me, Nasty Lee, who used to be called Lyrical Lee, another MC called Draper. That took us across to kind of like the Holiday Islands, Malia.
Okay.
All of them kind of. It was good. It was a good time. Mainly garage. Mainly during that era, kind of I'd say pre So Solid or just as So Solid performing, and then pre Heartless Crew. That kind of vibe there.
And at this point, you're just a DJ.
At that point, I'm kind of DJing but tinkering with production. So started producing, say, back end of 99.
Wow.
Yeah, 98, 99 started messing around with producing, but it was like more audio clipping, putting audio clips together and making dub plates. Yeah. Basically just for the sets to try and make the
then
sets
you gotta
a bit
get
more
impressed.
unique. Yeah.
Oh,
got impressed onto the acetate. I used to use somewhere near here actually, Holloway Road, Wookiees family.
Okay,
used to run a place called Music House. And you just go there. Best feeling when you're holding your record in your hand and then
no one else has got it.
You've got a set coming up and you're just about to play it, and obviously the reaction sometimes good, sometimes bad. But no, it's good. It's always great. Always been good. And then from that got the bug of production. Really started making mashups. A few people might have heard some of them. They still, but I wasn't obviously at that particular time. You couldn't do mashups. You're getting a lot of shit for it. But I done that. Had it like EZ and everybody spinning them, but couldn't never put my name to them. And then someone took them and pressed them all up onto vinyl.
What?
Yeah, someone took them and pressed them all onto vinyl, and they were out in the white labels in the shops, and I was like, shit.
Oh,
what's going on here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But so off the back of that, moved into actual production, songwriting. I met, I'm trying to think of the time frame. I met Wayne Williams from Another Level. Yeah. And at that particular point in time, I was doing multi-genre DJing, so right across the board. Yeah. And I started making hip hop and R&B and stuff. 2006, moved over to Cos for the summer. So done a season in Cos. Mad. I met a group of lads there from kind of East London, a guy called Sharky. He used to run a party called Shake It Down, which actually how I ended up getting into McQueen's. Okay. So met him.
Kai Canty was a tour.
Yeah, met Kai, the guy of Abode. So he met me in Malia pre. This is a mad story. So we met Kai in 2000. Let's say 2002. He was a rep out there. Yeah. And I remember we robbed the main rep's car and hid it from together. And we hid it from him, and we was all hiding in the top of the hotel, looking down at him, shitting himself, thinking, "Oh, where's my car gone?" And obviously just had loads of fun with Kai, done boat parties and stuff, and never saw him again. Then 2006, obviously moved to Cos, met Sharky and the gang who was doing Shake It Down, a guy called Morsey as well. Done a season there at Starlight Club, mainly house music and like commercial dance music. But during that period of time as well, I was still playing semi-professional football. Okay. Going to university, as our men, we both went to Brunel, just juggling life and music and stuff like that. And then I think 2007, 2008, I met Wayne Williams from Another Level, boy band, started making his stuff, producing like hip hop and R&B. 2009, moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
So you've been about a little bit.
It's been mad, yeah. We done
Work out how old he is now, though.
No, yeah. So we've done a year in Atlanta, Georgia, just literally upped and left. Literally just upped and left, went over there, started making stuff for like a camp, Grand Hustle camp, so TI's camp. Yeah. Yeah. Inside there, we were doing some work, done some work with Brian Reed. Then we entered a competition to be KFC Hitmakers, actually. We ended up winning that competition.
No way.
Yeah, so like they done a big compilation thing on that. And then we ended up doing like a warm-up tour for Slum Village. Right. So doing performances and stuff with him, which was sick. So I was just background DJing. Wayne was performing. Then I came back to the UK think ended 2009 December. Back into it again, same sort of stuff, mix of all West End venues, and that led me into McQueen.
Yeah.
Eventually, with Sharky doing Shake It Down and what's his name? Desi.
Desi, yeah.
So
Desi
became
Ricky.
sort of resident in there between McQueen and Shake It Down. And met Alex.
So at this point, what are you guys thinking? Like, obviously you just met up. You think, oh, we like doing music. Are you working elsewhere? Are you doing?
I was already,
because you were like Britain's top model in that film.
I left
Big cat. No, you did a big camp. You didn't do a big Burberry. Was it a Burberry campaign?
Nah, I did Calvin Klein.
Calvin Klein.
Yeah, I did quite a bit, and then I was still modelling when I met Stefan, and I was
Mate, he was like that. He was so skinny when
He
I
had the
first
look.
met him.
Yeah, so that
and then he
was-
showed me pictures of back in university. It's not the same person at all. It's like three of them were stuck together.
There's two.
I
or
looked
three.
more like you at uni.
Really?
Yeah, I
of
was
course.
like-
You're a rugby.
I was a bit of a unit, and then I had to slim right down. And then, I was DJing out and about. Back then, it was like Citizen had just started. Lawrence had just started working under Citizen. We were doing quite a bit together. Dara and Buster were doing, what was it called? Fake Rolex or something like that. And then Dara was the booker at the Egg. And yeah, I was playing like all the usual like cool little spots in Shoreditch. And then, yeah, we met. We didn't really talk that much, to be honest, because Steph would just be on the decks and I'd be, at first when I was at McQueen, I was doing the bookings for the first 2 years. And then I stepped out of that a bit and ran a few nights in-house, ran front of house, met his brother actually, because you couldn't make a set. And Blaze hadn't DJ'd in like years and years and years. I remember and Blaze was absolutely shitting it. But it's just like riding a bike. But I remember that well. It was good times. Yeah, and then we met and we talked for ages about, let's get in and do something, do something. I was actually already in a duo at the time. You were in a group.
Yeah.
You were in Chocolate Dole.
Doing a pop group at that time with a guy called Bluey and Nene who done Body Groove.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's working on that project.
Timing just worked out because my partner just vanished. He just upped and left, and I never found out why until like 3-4 years later when we were actually DJing. I remember. So just like came at a good time. I think we both were playing very similar music at a time. Like
I used to remember you at the back, I'd be dropping a tune and I'd be like, because it was just before that deep house era, so no one really knew that kind of sound. But obviously there was a small group of people that were playing that kind of sound, and obviously everyone was getting into it. So we were probably the only guys at that time sharing that music and playing it in our sets.
it was like the birth of like, I don't know, like Crash and guys like Wildcats were down living in East London and hanging out with them, and it was just a nice scene back then, man. It was like close and fun and half baked, and I'm trying to think, You Are We and all those parties.
Yeah,
man.
some serious sounds.
Yeah, it was good times. Real good
That
times.
that whole era for me, like, because obviously I think I got into it like 2012, just as a raver.
Yeah.
And mate, the 2012 sound is
Banging. It's hard to
still-
listen to now, though, don't you think? As in, like, it's not. It's
it's hard because what kind of upsets me is that I know every tune. Do you know what I mean? I'd love to hear new, old school, deep.
It's
house.
crying
that
out
feel.
for that as well.
Yeah,
It is
definitely.
crying out for that right
Yeah,
now.
I was. This is what I spoke recently to Mark Radford about as well, because he's someone that hasn't changed.
Yeah.
and he goes, I haven't changed. He goes, and also much like how you can associate, EZ to doing a particular thing or Matt Jumbo Monster doing. He goes, I've not changed. And he goes, and it will come back around. He goes,
It will. You just got to stay in the fight. I mean, you look at any genre of music. If you're still around in that second cycle, you're already ahead of like the new people coming through. It's just how it is. You just got to stay in it. If you can stay in it, it will move. It will come back in.
but you have adapted very, very well, very smoothly to
I think
the
it's
current sound.
we like to. Yeah, I don't know. It might look like that from the outside. It doesn't feel like that from the inside.
we just like
You know
our
what you
lane.
need to do, basically.
Our lane's always been like yay wide. Like it's hard to describe, isn't it? Like anywhere
innit?
from
I
when we
always said tough,
started,
I was
it was
bumpy.
any from when like it was bumpy. It was
Yeah.
any from like even our new disco sound was a bit more lively and bumpy, and then we started like bridging the gap between new disco, house, and garage. I guess that was kind of our thing, and we were always dropping old records from day one.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
our
just-
very first set as Tough Love was in the basement at Egg.
Heck yeah.
It was our first one, and it was with our mate JR, who's still going, and No Artificial Colours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's where it links into Kai again.
Okay.
So basically, we done Relay.
Club Relay.
Yeah, Club Relay, and he just started a party called Forte, and we were like one of the first bookings. And
Us and Wildcats.
yeah, and we was up on the stage, and I looked at him, kind of recognised him, but didn't really think much of it. And then Lee, Nasty Lee came. He was on the stage with us, and Kai's staring at him like, "I know you from somewhere. I know who you are." And he's like, "Oh, you're the MC. You're the MC." And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? And basically, Kai took us on a boat party in Malia back in 2002. And we were doing Urban Legends at the time. And then Draper and Lyrics, they absolutely ruined this MC in a clash on the boat.
Yeah.
To the point where he drowned his sorrows after the set and got paralytic in the corner of the boat. And Kai just remembers it because of how kind of brutal it was at that particular point in time. And then, it's really mad to see how we've all kind of grown and where we've come to.
You've all
in the
seriously
Yeah.
grown because, you know, Kai is probably one of the top UK promoters, really.
Yeah, without a doubt.
About that, yeah.
You guys are probably... You are quite household names, especially within the scene, I think. I mean, actually, first I have to ask you, how did you first come up with the name Tough Love, and when did that happen?
We knew from day one to be honest, the first week we got in the studio, we did 3 sessions. I remember, and literally, I remember it. Like, it's mad. We wrote our own. The first session we done, we wrote our own original.
Yeah.
Which Lee come and vocaled for us. The second session we done, we did a rework of
R. Kelly.
See, he remembers.
Yeah.
Done a rework of R. Kelly.
Vibe.
This before anyone
Vibe.
was doing
Okay,
any of
nice.
this stuff.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
one
yeah.
was doing any of these reworks in like the housey sense. And then we were like, right, you are going off to China to DJ. I remember like he was going off for like a week or 10 days. Was Spenny?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Spenny. And then I was like, right, I'll do some research, work out what labels we want to like pitch to. And I pitched that week, and actually a lot of it got picked up. And then when Steph come back, we were like, do you know what? We need to make our own label, our own media company. Much like this, to be honest, was our thing. Like, let's make a hub where we can produce records, we can put them out, we can bring through all our boys and look after everyone. Because it was cliquey back then, and I understand why now. Because you've got to be protective of you and your mates a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many people who would jump in your crew and use you, and then move on to the next one and climb the ladder and move on to the next one. So I get it why labels can be a bit like standoffish, and we were just way more open. We were just like, let's just break new talent. So I think we put a record out on Loverdose's label, a couple tunes on Loverdose.
Yeah.
One called Cold Blood, which is our
Yes.
first proper single, which you
He's
love.
just shot a man in cold blood. I love that tune.
That's a mad story. So we did that. Rushy Allen. We did that
Big up
record.
Rush, shout out. I've interviewed him as well.
Gave it to Russ. Russ started hammering it, and then we found out like DJ Sneak and a few others were playing it, which for us, like second record in, was kind of mad. But we'd already signed it to a label called Discotheque up in Liverpool, and it was all good. Like, it was our first proper thing, and then Russ was like, "Oh, no, I think I can get Jamie to pick this up for Hot Creations." And this was like 2011. We were like, "Oh, we've already signed it." I look back now and I'm like, "Oh man, that could have made that sort of first 2 years boom." But it was all good. That kind of put us up on the map in the London scene, and then moved on to like Nervous and Mother Records. Yeah, we were like one of the first guys to release on Mother, which is mad. We got a release back with them. Next month.
It's crazy because at that time, Liam Kelson was bubbling, Amin Edge and Dance started bubbling.
Yeah.
Like even
Matt
Solomon,
Fear.
and they were all fully supporting our records at that time.
Yeah. Solomon opened his set for
Yeah.
DJ of the Year with our tune on Sleazy Deep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
big
still
up
got the video
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, big up Rod Made as well.
Yeah, big up
I had
Rod
a chance
Made,
to
man.
meet him. So all of that's happening. It's all popping off, guys. But what year was Ride It? Like, what year did you do My Pony?
We actually made it in 2013.
Yeah, gonna be
late 2013.
Late 2013.
But then like it didn't bang. Did it bang straight away?
It did, yeah.
No, so we done a.
I know it went off in club sets. But
Yeah.
Oh
no,
no, we
so-
didn't put it out.
And initially we done Lonely Highway.
yeah.
So we made Lonely Highway, and then amongst that time, off the back of that, you could hear the production's quite similar. We done So Freaking Tight,
Yeah.
and we done Pony as well.
Lonely Highway was bubbling,
Yeah,
and we were too young to realise what was actually going on.
Yeah.
Mr. Jam was playing Lonely Highway every day on Radio 1 and One Extra,
Yeah.
and we didn't understand what that meant, really, if I'm
Yeah.
honest, at that time.
No, we didn't.
No, because you're just doing it, and like
Yeah.
you're
Of
there,
yeah.
you're grafting, isn't it? And
We're
then
just
you're-
playing it in our shows and seeing the reaction, and then just realising like, out of all the records that are being played, there is a handful of records that keep getting that same reaction.
I'll tell you what the turning point was, because you'll like this.
Go on.
We had to split up for a show, which we never do.
No.
Like, handful of times we've done that in 10-year career.
Double money, innit?
You know what? It's not even about that. Like we've always said, we never really want to split up because one, it's unfair for the punters.
Yeah.
Two, it's unfair for the promoters.
Yeah.
But
And it's not the same
unfortunately-
And you work very well together, I have to
Yeah,
say. I've
we
seen you
do,
behind
yeah,
the decks
like
together.
we're very hands-on with the 4 decks and the mixer and the acapellas and the drum loops and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not going to get the same element of show.
Definitely.
But we took this one booking, and I was over in Ireland playing.
This is where I think we met.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was GSS. You were playing GSS.
Yeah.
Was it Siesta or Audio Hall or something
It
like
was
that? One of those two.
One of the guys, one of the Cheekies. and
Cheeky's
that.
party.
Yeah.
Back in the day where they were selling balloons for fun. And and yeah, we'd spoke before the set, like, and I was like, yeah, like, I don't know if we were on an Ireland tour and you flew back. I can't really remember if I just flew out. But anyway, like, I think you'd flown back because I seem to remember we'd been out there the day before. Anyway, I was in the middle of nowhere in Ireland, like literally the middle of nowhere. And walked down into this club, and there's like one Hindu there, average age 60, and like a couple of students on the dance floor, and a resident DJ playing like Bon Jovi, and I was like, man, like, I didn't sign up for this. Like, what's gone on here? And so I've gone in and like, it's probably one of the worst sets I've ever done in my life. Other than, there's only one set that's worse that Russell J put us in. Russ.
Stephen is.
And we never got paid, Russ. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Telling you,
Invoice
bruv.
coming soon,
That's
Russ.
the worst set ever.
Bank account details being sent tomorrow.
But yeah, we split up, did this show. It was absolutely terrible. I've come out, I can't even get in my car because there's a huge fight kicking off and they're all bottling each other.
Oh my God.
So the what's that they call police in Ireland?
The Garda.
The Garda. They're all there. I eventually got in a car and I've called Steph, thinking like I'm gonna tell him how shit it was. How is it? Oh, I can't hear you, bro. Hang on, one sec. Call you back.
Because you're at tunnels.
How is it? How is it? Bruv, I'm telling you now, yeah? That is the best set. It fucking went off. Every one of our dubs went off. Pony went off. So freaking tight. I was like, brilliant. Nice one, mate. Yeah. Bye.
Oh.
That was a sick show.
Yeah.
I think that's when you first were like, these records are special. Because I remember it was after that you come back and you were like, no one's having So Freaking Tight. And I was like, cool, I'm good with that. Whereas Pony we done as a
Did we
free.
do Coronet for Stephen before and Madge? Was Coronet before?
No, come after
Right,
that.
so I was at the Coronet.
Yeah, you came
And
along.
I couldn't believe that show because obviously, like, I knew you guys didn't be doing stuff, and this is the time like Lonely Highway's banging off. And I remember saying to you backstage, at that point, I remember saying like, they all know the words to your tune, like and you could watch them like singing it.
Yeah.
Something you don't really see now, especially with the music that's kind of out now.
It was just mad because we did the EP with Amin Edge and Dance, like a 4-track EP.
Yeah, I remember.
And that connected, like, and
because you had a show with them as well.
Yeah. It was Keep It Burning. That was
and
big.
Keep It Burning, proper Blue in London.
Yeah.
That proper Blue in London. And then Amin was like, I've got to say, in that time, Amin was unbelievable. Like, he was killing it, cleaning up for fun, like real fun sets, nice guys, and they brought us through with them. And then we done Pony as a free download, and that's what we first done. And after that little time period, and that blew, and then all those sets at Coronet and all those London shows, and that's when we started moving out of London. It started like Manchester. We suddenly got 2-3 bookings a year in Sankey's, and like things started to pick up. But So Freaking Tight were always like, no one is having this tune.
I think as well what it was is during that period of time, we did move into maybe saying 75% of our set was all our own music.
Yeah.
So if you were to hear our music, you had to come to one of our shows. We weren't playing what everyone else was playing. Then we had like Gone in the Morning, the remake with Carneo and Deneo. We had Keep It Burning, obviously So Freaking Tight, Pony, Night Is Calling. And they all started to get their releases as well. So at the same time as like
Night Is Calling, man, that popped.
The same time the records were being kind of perceived by the crowds, they were also going out into the DJ's hands. But then, as Al said, we both said, nah, no one's having So Freaking Tight for now.
But also, The Night Is Calling. You first used the sample.
Don't start on me in this one.
No, you first used the sample that everyone that was in his house on the weekend.
Yeah, we cleared that. So we'd already done Keep It Burning on Nervous.
Yeah.
The sample was an old Nervous sample.
Okay.
Big up Andrew over at Nervous. And we cleared that. Sorted it all out, paid Andrew. Everything was good. That tune was absolutely killing it for ages. And it just took a little bit too long to come out as well, I think. Like, it eventually come out on Running Wild with Bubba. And it blew. It absolutely blew. And then someone made like an edit of it, which turned into his own tune. And then Annie latched on to that. Yeah. And it was the first like number one of like the new era. And we were kind of there like, that stings. But such is life, man. Like, I've watched it happen so many times before and so many times since to like massive artists as well. Yeah. Massive artists. I mean, if you want to look at one right now, go and look at Ride It. Go and do your research. You're a thief, mate. You're a thief.
The thing is, there is sampling. There is forms of like influence from other people's records, and then there's just straight up robbing records. And unfortunately, a lot of people can seem to do that now and get away with it.
Yeah. One particular tune comes to mind, but I'm not gonna say anything.
May as well, mate. It's an open book right now. No. Starting, Max.
Unfortunately, it's part and parcel of the scene. You just can't be bitter. You just got to let it go and move on to the next one and push on. Otherwise, you get so hung up on it.
Yeah. Now, I remember seeing you guys in the studio with Ginuwine. Come on. Like, what do I even say? I mean, just from like knowing you two guys, knowing what you do and how you do it. And then, because we are underground, as much, but when you go to working with someone like Ginuwine, like officially, not like send me your vocals, bro. I remember seeing you guys in the studio with him.
Yeah.
How did that whole thing come about, and what was it like when you were actually there?
So this is the mad thing when I look back at that time. So
it's hard to put together, isn't it? Because that period of time was just like everything was popping up.
Yeah, there's like a 12-month period basically where no one wanted to sign So Freaking Tight. That's how this all started. Okay. No label wanted it. Everyone turned it down. Everyone turned it down, bro. Everyone turned down Gone in the Morning with Deneo. Yeah. They used to cuss Deneo, and he's like an old friend of ours. Like, we don't think he can make it. Well, he's blowing up now. He's just worked with Calvin, so
yeah, he's a legend.
Go figure. And we were like, do you know what? We got to do it ourselves, like we have with the other stuff. So we cleared So Freaking Tight, put it out ourselves, and then got Radio 1 play. Phone went mad, and then 3-4 months later we had our first hit. Pony had already gone out as like a free download dub plate on SoundCloud, which was back in the day. It was how you broke yourself as an artist. It was grassroots basically. Yeah. And then it was coming sort of the end of summer, and I think it was Mixmag used to do a piece of like what the top 5 Shazams were in like the UK, and well, So Freaking Tight was number 1, and Pony, which wasn't out, was number 2 in the whole of the UK. Right. And we were sat there like, okay, this is a bit mad, like
because we never registered Pony either, so it was just a white label on Shazam.
Yeah, and it was a weird one because we were skeptical about doing two like.
No, we didn't want to do two.
We didn't want to do Pony really. We wanted to work with Elgin, like we love him, but it was very much like can we do So Freaking Tight and then Pony straight after? Bit scared to do it, didn't really want to do it. Anyway, ended up doing it, but how it came about was nuts. So we did a tweet about the Shazam, about where it was, and added G, and then he literally inboxed us like 30 seconds later and was like, yo, this is sick. We should get in and do this together.
Wow.
And we were like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to fly to London next week. Do you want to get in? It was literally that quick.
No, he had a show with Tank and 112 at Hammersmith Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I'm in London next week. Let's get in. Right, all right, cool.
So we booked Wendy House.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, like, what do you want to make this like happen? Like, what makes you comfortable? And he was like, a bottle of brandy, a bucket of chicken, and a good barber.
And a barber.
So we phoned Jamal Edwards and we were like, all right, bro, do you want to film this? And do you know a good barber? And he brought his boy down, I remember.
Wow. So like Jamal SBTV came down, filmed the whole sort of session, whole environment. It was sick. And he smashed it, like vocally. Yeah. Just being in there.
And he's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He is honestly the nicest guy. We
Okay.
got to hang out with him in LA when we went to shoot the video. Still keep in touch, like dropping the odd WhatsApp and stuff. Like, lovely fella.
He had his, remember he had his backing singer with him in the studio. And, basically, we're breaking down the lyrics, and one of the lyrics is juices flowing down your thighs. Yeah. And the backing singer looked really confused at that point. Like, he didn't know what the hell was being said. And he looked at G and he was like, bro, is that what the lyrics are? And he was like, yeah, you've been singing this with me for 20 years. And he was like, I thought it was something completely different. So all his shows, he's been singing completely different lyrics in the whole thing. So yeah,
thanks to you guys.
Yeah, we just set him straight.
Yeah, you're singing the right one.
Now, you mentioned Jamal Edwards. How did that link up come around? Because he's someone that is extremely influential from the world of music and media, and he's a sick guy.
Stupid. Me and Jay grew up next to each other.
West London boy.
Like, so where he is, I'm literally 5-minute walk. Okay. We never really crossed paths. I think it's just an age gap thing. But he was always out in the parties, a big supporter of our
Someone
sets.
else told me that.
He was always out partying.
Yeah, he was always out and about, like afters and stuff like that. And he used to host, like, because when he obviously started smashing it, someone else was telling me he used to do these mad after parties, and whoever he was within the party, he'd send
British music, especially in London, owes a lot to that guy.
Definitely.
Like, it owes a lot to that guy. He brought a lot of people through. He was there for a hookup if you needed a singer or vocalist or whatever. Like, you could always call Jay and be like, have you got any ideas on this? Good guy, man. Like, good energy, good guy to have around. Super humble, stay grounded.
Yeah, he's doing bits, man. Like, but I knew he was passionate about like house, but obviously never really put that stuff on his channel. It was more like
he set up on the more kind of urban world, whatever you got to like.
I didn't want to say.
Yeah,
I did the
but
quotes,
that's unfortunate.
There was a minute though, because we did a mix for him and he made a few stuff. Like, he tried it, but I think he was already so set up in that like sort of grime culture that they didn't really accept the house stuff as much as he liked it. So he probably just stepped away. But I don't think there was no doubt that he loved it. Still does.
Yeah. Now let's get a little bit more up to speed, a little bit with the current day. We were just talking off camera. You're doing an Australia tour.
Yep.
This will be your second time.
Yeah,
second
time back.
Just tell everybody like how the first time come around, why Australia. Just sort of a little bit about that whole process.
It'd be on our hit list for ages, isn't it? Like, neither of us had ever been before. You hadn't been, had you?
No, never.
No, neither of us had ever been. We'd always talked about going. There'd always been like the odd show offer, but it's a long way to go for like one stint. And then we got our agent there last year, started like mapping a tour together. And I think, to be honest, we were kind of bricking it going, because when you go that far around the world, you literally got no idea what the reception is going to be. And we've done this a long time now, and it always amazes us when you can walk in a different country and they know your tunes, or there's just a good vibe. And for me, that's one of the best tour we've ever done.
I think it meant a lot to us at that particular point in time, because the scene had shifted so far, and obviously we kind of felt we was on a bit of more of a downward spiral rather than maintaining where we was actually at.
Not for a lack of music though.
Not
just
for a lack
overlooked.
of music, just scene change, and just like we always rode a lovely middle ground between club and commercial. Yeah. And I just think one day that just changed and went bam, you're either one or the other.
Yeah.
So off the back of that, we were still hitting our releases, but the buzz, I would say, in the UK just didn't feel the same.
Yeah.
And
Was this the sort of time that you were signed with Warner Chappell? When you did,
Yeah, it's about 3 years
Yeah,
into our
about
deal
2-3
there.
years ago. So obviously, off the back of your UK heat, you usually generate more heat internationally as well. So naturally transition where it didn't feel like that for us this time. So when we did go to Oz, we literally just played all our new music, and every show sold out. So we was very much on a buzz. Like, okay, yeah, we're still around. We're still doing our bits and pieces.
At this time when you're doing shows, is there like a Fisher over there? Who are your support? Did you have support?
It was just us.
We were headline everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was us and just residents.
Which was again a bit nerving because we're going into a new territory, new touring team, and if that doesn't go well, you don't go back.
Yeah.
That's literally how it is.
Yeah.
But now we're going back.
Even like going as far as like we went to New Zealand on like a Friday night, I think in New Zealand. We were so tired, especially me.
Yeah.
I slept through my alarm. I thought I'd missed a gig.
Oh my God.
Steph was at dinner with a promoter.
Anthony Joshua just got beat as well.
Yeah, I remember. And we didn't know what to think, and they'd set up in this. It was like a bar restaurant, and they gutted this whole thing and put like the sickest system in there. And I swear the whole of Canterbury turned up. Like, you could not get in this place. It was booming, wasn't it?
Christchurch.
Oh, sorry.
Shout out everybody, Carlos.
Edit that bit. Edit that bit.
Yeah. So you've done a little bit. You've done Australia.
Yeah.
Where else have you been around the world, guys?
Where? What,
Yeah,
recently?
Musically, playing.
Oh, mate.
Mexico, America.
Colombia,
Yeah, played Medellin. That was pretty cool.
Lithuania, Russia.
Lithuania, Russia,
Ukraine.
Ukraine, Poland, Germany, Austria, France.
Ireland, States. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been about.
China.
There's not really a place you have like.
Dubai, Bali.
Yeah.
There's not really a place you haven't done.
Oh, mate, there's so many places.
There's loads of
out there
places we want to
still
do. Loads of places. Japan, I like really want to get to.
Yeah.
I do want to do a bit more in Asia.
A bit more South America as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, where's the place? Oh, do you know where I'd love to go? Is it the Lost place in Brazil? Lost or something?
I have to check that out.
Yeah, serious. When Amin and Dance do their Brazil tour, they always
Play there.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently Brazilians are just the craziest.
Yeah.
Like, just crazy vibes.
Yeah. There's been talk of a tour there for like the last year, so hopefully
Yeah.
we'll actually get one locked in soon.
Nice. Now, I mentioned Warner Chappell. Let's talk a little bit more about that whole deal when that whole happened, because as artists, that must have felt like a massive achievement.
It was, yeah, it's mad. Like we've been through, so like Warner Chappell are publishers, so they look after us in terms of our writing and production.
Yeah.
That actually came a bit later. We signed first time with Island Records 2014,
Okay.
right? October, November. Yeah, for So Freaking Tight
Yeah.
on like an album deal. And
Just explain that a little bit more as well, because there's some people like we hear a lot about, we got signed and we done this, like, or an album deal, but just because you've been through it, just talk a little bit more about what that actually means. And
so for us, an album deal meant, I think it was over an 18-month period. We had to put together at least 5 lead singles and 5 soft singles to go on an album.
okay.
But this is pre-Spotify and pre any of that happening when we did the first, like when we actually did the document.
Yeah.
And then the whole landscape of music changed once they were like, okay, streams now count, and every 100 streams is one sale and all this stuff. And like, I don't think any record label was ready for what was about to happen. Like, it was pandemonium, wasn't it? You go in meetings and no one knew what to do or how to attack it. I mean, like, Pony, our second single, came 39 in the UK top 40, but it was the 3rd biggest selling single.
Okay.
So we just weren't set up in Spotify world to balance that out. And we had like quite a few good years at Ireland, and then things just didn't work out for whatever reason, like personnel shifts within the label, and then music culture shifts, and we were just like, this isn't working for us. And at our own fault, we probably went down roads that we didn't really want to go down or advised to go down the wrong road. Let's put it that way.
I think it makes it a little bit harder. So people think once you go commercial or once you get a deal, that's it. You've gone commercial. Unfortunately, in that world, there's a lot of red tape. So a lot of people don't understand that. As much as we cared about the Beatport sales and the underground sales and the reflection it had on the underground market, like the music we were doing, they don't care about that because that's such a small number of people. So if you're playing 300 capacity venues, they don't care. They want 2,000, 5,000 plus venues. That's their market, iTunes and digital sales. Like, so that side of the industry gets ignored, and that's not down to us as an act. It's simply with the fact that the corporations have a red tape where their focus is on more money. The focus is on making more money and generating more money because they're inputting more money at the same time.
Making music that people are going to listen to.
It's to
making more
a broader scope. Exactly.
I remember we had to do like 35,000 sales a week, I think, was like the aim. And at that point, like Steph said, no Beatport, no track source. Going on another YouTube channel was a no-no. Like, had to be on your own channel. And so, like, no SoundCloud. Yeah. So everything that how we'd broken, pulled, like gone.
Yeah. And every bit of organic way of releasing dance music is taken away from you. You fall into their pop release schedule and the way it's like, right, we're just going to give this to a bunch of people who've never heard of you before and expect it to be successful. We all know dance music doesn't break like that. It takes months and months and months and loads of support from different DJs and different acts before it even gets to anybody's ears. Even like radio, before it even touches radio, you're talking 6 months worth of building up a record. Definitely.
I think, in fairness, the majors have learnt now because I mean we still
hope so.
Yeah, I mean we're still have meetings with them. We're there later today, and a lot more deals are done now where they're like, we want like 2 singles off you a year, but yes, you can go and release with other independent labels. They've realised that you need to satisfy your crowd. And if you don't do that, they're not going to follow you.
Also keep the buzz that you already have.
Exactly.
That organic buzz that you've generated for the last few years.
Yeah. So that time was great, but it was tough. It was a fast learning curve for us. I have fond memories, but I also look back and just think how stressed out I was. Like, honestly, bro, like screaming matches down the phone with people. Like, it was just part and parcel of it. It was frustration. I think all artists have it. And eventually, I think we ended up doing like 8 singles with Ireland in the end.
And we've had a decent level of success with it, but to say we enjoyed it, not as much as it would probably be perceived.
It was hard because A&Rs and the majors love to mould you against someone who's already come through. It's like very rare you'll find an A&R that's like, okay, go and I will support you. Or like, I'm going to bring an idea to the table. So like we'd come from doing like all these underground shows and sitting in meetings being like, so guys, you're going to be the new Jonas Blue. No.
But it's only because Jonas was really popular at that point in time.
No, it's nothing against him. Like, rate the guy, known him a long time before, he's doing that stuff with Scales, like killing it. Friends with Aaron as well. But we want to be us, but to make someone understand that, it's very hard. And like, what was being offered to us just was not a fit, and it became that put tension on it. And at the same time, we went and sold our record label to Sony, which just like added like pouring petrol on a fire. So like it caused major drama for a little bit.
What were the benefits of doing that for you?
Of working with Sony on the label. At the time, I think we'd broken 3 or 4 records in the UK outside of Tough Love. So we had like the Roog record, which came on Ministry. We had Hot Sauce, which Ireland picked up. And we had loads of offers coming on our catalogue. Like, the label was going really well, and we were going well. The label was going well. It was all like a good time.
We were A&R in that scene as well, very well. So.
Like, we had our own show on Kiss. We were tight with, we were tight with all the guys at radio. Everyone, it was like that, like organ house era. It was just popping back then.
But even like first releases like Hannah Wants and Chris Lorenzo and like
Denny
and Denny and Lee Webster and ourselves, and it's very much like in major world then they don't really have their ears to the ground as much. So
Takes longer to come through.
in that particular scene that was bubbling at the time, we kind of had our hands on the pulse of the guys that were actually really, really putting out some solid music. So I think we was a step ahead as well, just to say like, right, these are the people you need to go to.
Yeah.
How did the Kiss thing come about? Because I remember when I first heard that, I was like, wow, that was massive. Like,
It's weird because we'd actually turned down a few radio shows because we always had our eye on national level.
Yeah.
I can't actually fully remember how that come about.
Yeah, I think John stepped in and set that up with Charlotte.
Charlotte?
I think it was originally Charlotte. Yeah.
And we went in and we were on Kiss Fresh and we were quite happy with that. And it was less than a year before we moved over to Kiss, I think. That was good times. But again, we were at Kiss. Now I look at it, this is probably the first time I've realised, but that era was like the era of the corporations trying to just cash in on what was going on, I think. Like Kiss comes from pirate roots, it comes from dance roots, and that era was very much like pop, 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 pop. We were one of the only specialists there, us and Madge probably. That was pretty much it. Zed was gone. Whereas you look now, and they've learned, Andrew Wilson has come in, has done like an insane job in like, okay, we're going to get Left Wing and Cody, we're going to get Low Stepper, we're going to get MK, we're going to move Joel to like 2 hours. Ben Malone's come in and absolutely crushing it. So like, it's shifted. I'd say the last 12 months, the global, or at least the UK landscape of dance has shifted to, okay, like there's a space for this underground music. Like we need to let them do what they need to do and not force them into a box. And I think that's why we're happy again now, because we've got us back and we can do what we want. We're not. I mean, to be honest, like probably 18 months ago, we were kind of like, do you know what? Fuck everyone. It's true. We were very much like fuck everyone. Like we're gonna do us. We're gonna make music we like, and if people like it, brilliant. And if they don't, then so be it. But like, you can't keep trying to follow people. Like you'll go down the wrong road, and like the scene will move, and you've got to move again. And if we never got in the studio in 2011 and thought, okay, we're going to do this to make other people happy. That's not how Tough Love started. It started of, okay, let's make music that we like. So we've literally that's what we're doing. It's working again.
Seems to be.
You both still seem so happy.
Yeah, man.
Which, working in a partnership's not always easy.
We never argue.
Never?
No, bro.
No,
we never argue.
Can't put a finger on a time where we've lost our shit with each other.
Really?
Like we can disagree.
Yeah.
But like
You just say I don't like that.
we're adults. It'd just be like, it's not like I don't like it. It would be like,
I don't think that works.
I don't think this works, and this is my reason for validating it. And then Steph would be like, well, this is my reason, and we just discuss it until we're like, okay, that's where we're going. You can't be selfish in a partnership. No. You cannot be selfish.
I think in this industry, you have to be very black and white. We're probably two of the most black and white people you can meet, especially going into any meeting. Or just say how it is, because there's no point in messing around in a grey area. You may as well just get out your worries and concerns on the table. So I think we work very well like that, in the sense that if there's an issue, deal with it there and then, move on. Yeah. There's a lot of ego in this industry. There's a lot of opinion in the industry, and if you take all of that on board, like you'll lose your mind, and you'll get downhearted, and you won't want to do it anymore. So you do really have to have thick skin, pass it all off. And with me and Al, we literally just say how it is, what we're feeling, especially with regards to the music and the brand moving forward. Yeah, and just get on with it.
So how does it actually work for you guys? What's your schedule when you're here and you haven't got shows? When you're in the studio, what sort of times do you work? Because obviously you both have lives outside.
I mean, when we started off, it was probably 5 days a week in the studio, like
definitely
for years and years and years. But like Steph's a father to 2 kids now, like other, not priorities, but like life gets in the way. Yeah. But we'll always do at least 2 days a week in the studio together. We've both got our own studios. Okay. And like in all that other time, we crack on making tunes. And then those 2 days together, it's kind of like a listening session. Like, is that any good? Bin. Is that any good? Bin. Oh, that one's got something. We'll work on that today. Yeah. That's kind of how it works. And then we produce our radio show every week. We have to get that done, touring schedule.
But I think utilising your time when you're touring.
Yeah.
Most people will be watching movies, will be making music. You've got a 6-7 hour plane journey. That's a studio session right there.
Yeah.
Like Night is Calling was made on the way back from Berlin.
Yeah.
So yeah, on the plane. So it's just stuff like that. We've made mashups on the way to festivals and just
Steph
played
will
them.
sit in the front of the car and I'll be driving and he will plug in through like the audio link and then be like, he'll turn it down while he's like editing it. So I've not got to go dum, dum, dum,
Yeah,
dum,
so-
dum, 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 dum. And be like, what do you think of that? Yeah. And we'll pull up and be like, all right, bounce it down then, bro. Let's test it.
Wow. So when you're making stuff, would you say you have both learned the engineering side of things as well, or do you still?
I learnt off Steph.
Okay.
I learnt off Steph. I had like super limited skills before I met Steph.
Yeah.
I had strong ideas, but like zero skills.
Okay. And how did you learn everything, Steph?
Self-taught. Same. I've always self-taught through DJing. Picked up bits and pieces from different people along the way. But it's really just I wouldn't say my techniques are perfect. They just work for
the
how
sound
I
that
want to
you
do
make.
it.
What's
how we
hard?
want to do it.
Yeah. What's hard now is that like we set up the same way when we work. So we have. There's just a way we work. It's what's quickest for us.
Yeah.
So I can work without Stefan. Like last week, I started a tune on Thursday or Friday, which hopefully we're getting like later today or Thursday. I know I can give Steph the session and everything's laid out exactly perfect. When other people come to work with us now, it can get frustrating because you're just like, I don't really work like that. Like,
No, I think we're very efficient. Like we can knock a tune out in a day. We can knock probably 2 tunes out in a day, or get them to a very decent point where we're happy with it, and we know that another few hours in the studio will get it to almost finished. So as Alex said, sometimes you do get people in there like 900 tracks, and you're thinking, what the hell are you doing?
yeah,
Like, why-
Junior, you're one of them. Bro. I had him in last week when you were away. I was like, nah, mate, we're starting from scratch.
Yeah, I think it's using your time efficiently. Like I think we've always been very good at doing that. Yeah. So that's why we have scaled down our studio times as well, so that we can enjoy family life a bit more. We can enjoy social life a little bit more, because there was a period of time where it was just work, constant.
But it was necessary.
Yeah, it had to be done.
Like anyone who gets somewhere, it's through commitment. It doesn't. People think it just happens.
Yeah.
But okay, maybe you get one hit and it just happens. But if you're gonna stay here for a decade, you've got to put that shift in.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And the thing is there have been some external influences that have helped us along the way, but it has only really just been Alex and myself.
What do you think external influences?
No, I'm talking like sometimes a manager might help out in one particular way, like an
With the
A&R
right
might have helped
agent
a particular point of way. Like you get great people like Label Works, for example, who are amazing at setting up like the label side of things. But at the very core of it, it's still Alex and myself. Like when it comes to the music, when it comes to the artwork, when it comes to signing records, and when it comes to the contracts and stuff like that, it's still very much us, very hands-on.
People don't realise that. It came about at ADE this year, actually. We met with Gerald Infectious, who does our plugin for us for the label. And I think he was very shocked to find out, like, who does the A&Ring? We do. Who does the scheduling? We do. Who does the Spotify pitching? We do. Who does the artwork? We do. Who puts on the nights? We do. There is no one else. There's no one else. People don't get that. Like, it is literally down to, like, if we don't get up in the morning, you know, it's like self-employed.
Of course.
If you don't get up,
make every day a
you don't
payday.
make any money. Like, simple as that. Like, you've got to
and
get
the
up.
biggest frustration you find with a lot of people is, this is our brand. We care so much about it. And if you bring people into your brand who don't care the same way, you don't get the same work from them.
No, it's your baby.
And then when you say to them, listen, you're not pulling your weight, they get upset. And they hold feelings about it. And then, I don't know, relationships get a bit rocky.
So you mentioned management there. It's something that I hear a lot of new DJs talk about. And I don't think people really understand the true role of a manager.
Yeah, I don't think most managers understand it, bro.
Okay. In your opinion, guys, when do you think a management, when should management get involved with you in your career? And also, how has management helped you guys?
I think you can't put like a time frame or say when, because I think everyone's different. I think what me and Steph are capable of doing by ourselves may not match up to what Tom down the road's capable of. Like we've got an understanding of music. We spent a long time in it, and we know what our sound is and what we put out. Other guys might not have that. They might be a bit confused on which road they want to go down, or like contacts at labels, or who to speak to. It's really hard to say, but I think if you've got your identity and you've genuinely got product which is like ready to start being put out, and you then maybe don't have the resources to know what next, is probably like the time when you maybe need someone. But whether that's like your permanent management or not is a very different thing.
So in your opinion, management really should have the contacts. That's what
They need to do what you can't do, basically. I think.
Me personally, I don't know if Alex agrees. I think management is a very grey area
100%.
because you'll find management want to get involved when you're hot.
Yeah.
They don't want to get involved. I think the same with agents as well. They want to get involved when you're generating a form of heat and they think they can capitalize on that. You'll know a good manager if they take you from grassroots and build you and help you get to a certain level and actually bring stuff to the table. Then that's a solid manager, someone who can use their contacts and their ways of working to help you progress.
I think that's the key thing, isn't it? Anyone can answer an email or pick up a phone to like when it's coming in. Yeah. But can they go and get you to work?
Same with agents. If you're hot, Max, the phone's going to ring. Yeah. And they're just going to say yes, no, fee, done. But if you're not hot and they're getting you gigs, to me, that's a sign of a good agent. Like,
the other thing is the decision making. Like some people might need that manager or that buffer to be like, that's not the right show for you. Do not do that show. Doesn't matter what the money is. Don't do that show. So it's different person to person. Like,
how important do you think that is? Because this is something that I talk about a lot with a lot of different people, because I think there's a lot of people that are quite pretentious and quite snobby, especially with what I would say the whole minimal sound is, and only playing wax or only play vinyl now, and it's just like people really start to think they're better than what they are.
It's all bollocks.
5 years ago, everyone was playing the same kind of music, mate.
It's all bollocks. It's all just like an opinion, basically.
Ego, mate. Take ego out the industry, and it'd be a much better place. Right. The thing is, you've got guys out here who've been standing the test of time, like, and they've gone through every possible way of DJing, from vinyl to bloody Serato or Tractor to CDJs to what. And the things, none of them are out here saying, "No, you've got to play." You just do it the way you want to do it, whatever you're comfortable in doing. As long as you're giving your output to the crowd and you're doing it in your way, then
a DJ's job's to make a crowd move. They don't give a shit what you're playing on. Like that's honestly the realest thing I can tell you. They do not care. Most of them don't even know who's playing half the time. They don't.
Like we do some stuff on the decks when me and him are just roaring off each other like, yeah, that sound is sick. And to be honest, half the people out there haven't got a clue. Like, and no disrespect to them, but it's just
that's not what they're there.
That's what we're passionate about. That's what we enjoy doing. And if they're enjoying it, then fantastic.
That's their escapism moment. Like as a raver, you're going for escapism. Yeah, that's why you're going. Yeah.
Massively. Like, Monday to Friday, a lot of people, they work 9 to 5 in an office. They've got a suit on. Yeah, mate. And I think we forget about that because we're industry and we're just around it, and different parties are like. I always call that parties like the office, mate. Like, I think it is like you've got to be at the office because you see that person. He's going to event next week, and you're out and about, and it's like it's business networking. Yeah. But that's only just for us. For people out, they just want to come and shake a leg,
mate, that is exactly
have a few drinks,
exactly,
relax and enjoy themselves.
Exactly it. That's it. And the thing, it is your job to introduce them to new music, but at the same time, make sure they're enjoying themselves. Like,
now we have to talk. Still going back a little bit, but this was when I was in Ibiza, and you guys actually Are you laughing, Steph?
I remember that in the cinema room.
You were in Ibiza, Max. You were there, mate. You were committed.
I was really in Ibiza. You were really there. You were doing the Sankeys with Red Light.
Red Light, yeah, mate.
That was massive.
Good fun.
Shame that all went, man. That was unbelievable time. That brand should be massive.
It was. I've got a few videos on my phone actually. I'll show you at the end of this.
Insert them, mate.
That was like one of the first times. No, it was one of the first times I'd ever been the other side of the DJ booth. Yeah. Because I was always obviously on the dance floor. Yeah. So like, I definitely feel like being behind it and seeing what you guys do. I was like, oh my god. I want to do this. I want to do this.
That summer was unreal.
Yeah, because you were there a lot. Like I remember you just
16.
He almost died by the end of it, mate. Yeah. I was literally touring was like that year was heavy.
I was in a bad way.
Yeah.
I had to have some time off. There was 1 week where we did like 23 flights or something.
I think it's 21 flights in 10 days.
Yeah, I was done. And it was like all different time zones. It weren't like small flights.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ibiza was amazing. Sankey's was incredible that year. The red light. That was the birth of the red light. And just the lineups were just insane.
Special, wasn't it? 'Cause
Yeah,
that whole sound is what 2015 was a great time for.
Residents were like us, Matt Jam, Todd Terry,
Tubenberger,
Low Stepper,
Roger Sanchez.
It's just like
It was solid.
DJ Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times, man.
Sankey's, I think, is like one of my favourite clubs in Ibiza.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's where I first met Amin as well.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, when I was a fanboy, I was like, can I have a picture, please?
I remember FaceTiming with you at an after party one time.
At an after party. These times I was
Bermondsey Way or somewhere around there.
These times I was enjoying myself quite a lot, exploring all the opportunities that the house scene had to offer. And I've come out of the toilet. I think we were at Louis' house.
Yeah.
And there's on FaceTime, and I was just like blown away, wasn't I? And I think he was with two chicks in bed.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Smashing it. 2015 was lively. It was a good year. But you know what also is definitely one thing, like when you realise, when I look back, like 2015, like I was still exploring like music, and I literally, and I say this to so many people, like when I talk to them, like I was literally just a fan of music. Like, you know that, like you saw how passionate I was like about music and stuff. Like, and then I was just like, no, like I really like this. And then when I come back from my Ibiza, like it was my birthday in October, and I asked my mum for a little controller thing, and that was all. Like that was like.
That's what it took.
That's what it took. Yeah. I mean, but we are talking, coming up to 5 years.
Yeah.
Of like daily stuff, which is the other thing as well. When I see a lot of people, they finish like DJ school now. They go and they do the courses and stuff like that, and it's like. After 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 8 hours or whatever,
it's nothing.
Bro, it's nothing. Like it's nothing. I mean, I say about 8 hours. It's probably like you need like 80 hours of shows or 8 hours of playing live.
You have to learn.
Minimum,
you have to learn on the go. Like you have to learn out in shows. Like the mistakes you make, from technical mistakes like with equipment to like technical mistakes when you're DJing, and I think. You can't judge a crowd until you're in front of a crowd. You need to be in every environment possible to learn like where you go, how you take people on a journey, like which moment in time your set time is. You know what I mean? If you're doing 10 to 11 at night, you're warming up. Warm up. Like, do you know what I mean? If you're closing,
close. Role, the warm up.
Yeah,
the warm up
massive,
is a big deal,
mate. It's a huge part.
Massive.
And you have to be a good warm up DJ as a skill.
One of my favourite sets we ever done was warming up. What was room 2 called in Sankey's? In Ibiza Sankey's.
Yeah. I can't remember.
You know what I mean?
I don't remember
the room upstairs.
Yeah.
We done like a 2-hour set warm up.
Yeah, that was wicked.
That's one of my favourite sets we've ever done, because you got to like really build it and build it and build it.
It's got to be 2 hours if you're doing a warm up.
Yeah.
But even if you're doing main set and a warm up DJ's trying to smash out every top 100 people record going, you got to know how to adapt to that and like not play that music. Like you don't learn that in DJ school.
Yeah. Now at this point in Ibiza, I think I remember seeing you guys on Tractor.
Yeah.
Why the Tractor was like how like?
Yeah. Why was it so big back then, and why was everyone use it? I think because it bridged the gap between CDJs, when it was actually you were putting a CD in which was scuffed up and mangled, and like you going through your wallet. I actually found my wallet the other day because we're packing up to leave, and found all my wallets, and they are a mess with like a little bit of paper on, like 1 is this and 2 is this, and like it was just long, man. That stuff was long and you couldn't find it. And Tractor was the first, and Serato was the same. Because you used to use Serato.
I used to love Serato.
But Serato's always been associated more to like hip hop and.
No, so for me, Serato was very much like it's the most responsive, less crashing.
That's true.
Was the best for multi-genre DJing. Yeah. And when I was doing West End based work and stuff, like your catalogue of music has to be from lounge to like midnight bangers and hip hop and R&B and like and accessibility to the music and everything was just. for me personally, that was the closest thing to using vinyls for me when it first come out.
For me, it was like an organisation thing.
Yeah.
Like you had it there, you had your folders. You weren't like going through your wallet.
Yeah,
And
I was very anti-Tractor.
Yeah,
but
you were.
the one thing I always rated in it was the effects panels in it.
Yeah.
You can do so much more, and I think that's why we stuck more with Tractor.
Because I remember we actually went into Pioneer because they were like, "Why are you using it?"
Yeah,
and we were like, "Because it can do this." And I remember Rob Anderson was like, "I'm gonna make a note of that.
We can
and,
come back to
like
you
and
with
get
that."
back to you with that." But yeah, like we used it a lot. But then when we first started DJing together, we were playing together like 5 nights a week, doing residencies. Like some of the shifts were like 7-hour shifts, like playing like lounge music and building it up and like. Man, just paying the bills.
I think
paying
that's the other thing as well, is people seem to think like, oh, you just go in, you've done your course, bam, you're in big time set world now, and it's like that doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things, mate, like with today's scene that unfortunately I feel don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like unfortunately, playing at Egg is not a big deal now. Playing at Ministry of Sound, unless you're proper, you know, when you was doing Siesta last week, absolutely smashing it. But like, unfortunately, I feel there's the name that used to be associated to say like being at Ministry of Sound or playing Ministry. I don't feel it's disrespected anymore because there's now so many parties that are there and so many events that are in this room and that room, and there's 4 different spaces and there's 12 DJs on the lineup all playing back to back, and it's like. There's a little bit of that specialness that's kind of gone down. Because I remember when you guys did a Get Twisted party at Ministry of Sound.
Yeah.
And it was special. Like I remember going and it was special. Like from the people that were there to the vibe to just you guys doing it.
Yeah.
It was mad. I don't feel like
It was done with love.
I don't feel like it's like that now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me personally.
I think always with us though, Max, you know as well, we never separate ourselves from people.
No.
We've never kind of like, you lot stay down there, we're going to stay up here. We've always been involved, and the people we've brought through, we've always wanted to be involved as well. So our lineups and our whole kind of ethos behind Get Twisted was very much family based. So if you're on the dance floor, or if you're behind a booth, you're all in that one environment for the same reason.
I still go on a dance floor now.
Mate, it's both of us.
I finished siesta. I went raving for 2 hours. I do not remember getting home.
That was your back curtain.
I had a wicked time. I rolled in. My wife, she was like, "How was it, babe?" And apparently I just went, "Shh, concentrate, not being sick." Like, I was wavy.
We love it. We still love it though. We still love
course.
that environment.
music.
Like, we love music. We love what we do, and we love like the vibe that people kind of bring with it all.
Of course. And I think that is sort of a testament to you guys because, like you said, 10 years deep of Tough Love, longer as individuals.
Yeah.
And still smash it. We can't finish this podcast without talking about your newest little thing that you did before Christmas, the back-to-back social.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
mate.
Because that was super cool. I'm shocked more people from the industry weren't there, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But I will say that on the podcast. This is Max's house. I say what I want. I'm shocked. It was great to see a lot of the new guys coming out of like DJ schools and that were there.
Yeah.
Just shows you they're hungry, mate, and like they're about. Like I said, I expected more people from.
I think what happened. I think a lot of it was down to the date.
I think we had it was posted out as a random kind of, hey, who'd be up for it?
We're doing this, yeah.
Response was amazing, but within like a week it was set up, organised, and that was it.
Yeah.
So it didn't really have enough. It didn't have
Promo
enough
time.
time or promotion to kind of gather the attention I suppose we would have liked to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the way it ended was
But it,
spot on.
the people that were there,
Couldn't fault that night
it
at
was
all.
all popping off.
Yeah,
wasn't it,
I mean,
really?
it's not for us, basically. It's come about because exactly what you were saying about how do these people get a chance? Like, the good thing about a DJ school is if you don't know how to get into DJing, you don't know a DJ, you don't know any equipment, you've got no idea, but you're like, I want to give it a go. That's your first barrier in, like, okay, here's a chance to learn. But to like go from that to like meeting people in the industry, getting your skills down, getting your music heard, like we heard some wicked tracks that night. We were
amazing.
like, we're gonna have to pick that up. Like,
Yeah.
we've got to stay in contact with this guy. Like, this guy's got serious skills. So I think it would just like, it's a platform for not just for people who aren't established, but for people who are established to actually just come down and
Yeah, it was
have
great.
a beer.
Jess Bays turned up.
Yeah.
Sonny Porter was there.
Yeah.
So it was really, really lovely evening, mate.
Yeah,
and
it's
it was
wicked.
like just such a awesome vibe. Everyone was super cool, super friendly. Plans for the next one?
Yeah, we said we're
I
gonna
know
do.
you're busy.
I
but-
think we're going to try and do them 2 a year. I think too many. You don't want to do too many.
No.
But yeah, maybe do like a summer and a winter one.
Yeah.
But yeah, next one we haven't thought about it yet, but
We will.
we will.
Good. And what should we be looking out for, guys? What's coming up? Releases, gigs?
Oh man, the schedule is madness. It's the busiest we've ever been. So release wise, we just put a record out, a remix on Stress. We've got our debut on Eric Murillo's label Subliminal coming this Friday. That's the first of 2 tracks we've
I think I've seen a video of that.
doing with him. Yeah, man.
Murillo dropping it.
Mate,
Yeah.
he's been supporting that.
Yeah, he's been championing it hard.
We just had the one before Stressed on Glasgow Underground
Yeah.
around.
Then we've got a
Disco, was that the
Yeah.
Yeah.
we got a 2-track EP with Reblock coming on Mother Recordings in February. We got a new one on CR2.
Oh, nice.
We got a new single coming in April on Good Company, which we're pretty pumped about. Man, there's so much more there. Like, we're packed. We got a remix coming on Swear It Out. We go on tour. Start to announce the tour dates the next few months. We're back in London next month, actually, at Electric Brixton. Yeah, man.
Can you say the party or not? If it's Electric Bristol, I'm trying to work.
Yeah, it's going to be for Love Juice Repeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be good.
I missed the last one. I definitely want to try and get down to one of them. Cause
Yeah, come down.
Golden era music, mate.
Mate, it's good fun.
And then we
It's
got
good fun.
ton of festivals to announce. I just don't know when
Really?
we're allowed yet. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
Summer's looking good, man.
Summer's looking good, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be a good year.
Hopefully we'll get to roll with you. Bring a
Definitely.
little video camera.
Always
Anytime,
welcome.
mate.
We'll get a little tough love vlog happening.
Always
Guys,
welcome.
anything you want to add? Any shout outs you want to do?
Nah, man.
Mate, shout out to yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Do you know how long I've wanted to sit down and chat to you both? Because like I said, you know, we've known each other on a personal level for a while back, before I started House 559, before I ever started talking to DJs and doing interviews, before I even started collecting music.
Yeah, man. Big up Twisted Disco.
Yeah, that was one of my favourite after party mixes of all time. Cocaine and ketamine, you and I. Tough love, do it like this. I think that's the perfect note to sign off on. Maximus Stefanos signing out with Tough Love. Yeah, we're on Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all of that. Everything's set up. We dropped the intro episode this morning. Yeah, just keep it locked. Basically, subscribe on the YouTube because I need the money in that. So big up, guys. Hope everyone's having a great 2020. Peace.